Well, hello. This is just a quick video me ranting about these old Betamax VCRs and how hard they are to keep working. I released a video a while back where I was trying to get my SL-HF860D working. The capstan motor was just going crazy, and it turns out that the little Hall effect sensor had gone bad, surface mount capacitors had leaked, damaged it, blah, blah, blah. And then I got it working again with its twin. So I'm like, okay, great. Well, here it is out of the rack, and unfortunately it has another problem. It plays okay. Sometimes there's noise and you turn Super Beta off and it's doing weird things. Sometimes you hold down fast forward to scan and it just kicks you out after a few seconds. But the most noticeable issue is that there's a transistor here in the capstan drive circuit that if you playing it gets warmer than it should. If you beta scan for, say, 5 minutes looking for commercials, this gets absurdly hot. I actually noticed it because I'm like, what smells like melting solder? And it's kind of dark here, but you can kind of see it started to heat up the solder joint. So it's doing weird things. I'm hoping it's a voltage rail issue because none of the weird glitches that have shown up seem to be related to each other. But anyway, this thing's down again. So on to this one. I got this in a lot of old Sony stuff. And I actually already have an SL-2710 that I used to use, and I kind of retired because it started giving me weird issues. And I couldn't pass this guy up in the lot. It's in remarkably good shape. It's still got the sticker on the top. This little door, the latches are good, so I don't have to hold it together with tape. And taking this apart, every single screw felt like I was taking it out for the first time. I don't think this has ever been serviced. Each one had that like crack when you undo it, which if you didn't have a GIS screwdriver bit would be bad news. Anyway, this isn't really a repair video because I don't feel the need to, but I will tell you the two issues and I will link to the videos that other people uploaded to help me fix this. So the first issue was putting a tape in, it was going cockeyed. This side wasn't going down. And I'll give you a hint, plastic. There's a plastic gear on either side of a little rod in the loading mechanism, and this one had cracked and fallen off. So there's a 12-volt vids video where he repairs that in his. Second issue I had, it was also in his video, but it was a different solution. So the reel table motor was not working well. It was making this horrible squeaking sound. The tension was all off. And I saw he oiled his. Well, no, this one didn't need oiling. And it's actually plastic, so I'm not sure how I feel about putting 4-in-1 oil where metal slides on plastic, like a nylon plastic. But basically, let's flip this around. I feel like these plastic clips are supposed to do something nice, like hold this up, but it doesn't work as intended. It's very difficult to get those clips to clip, and then they easily let go and the board falls. Anyway, see this little collar here, this little metal collar, and it's got a plastic insert. That is where the rotor sits and spins. And let's get my hand in here. There's a little plastic insert inside this brass ring. And I found a MrBetaByte video where he was running into the same issue that I had, which was when I spun the rotor after taking this reel table out, it was scraping against the windings, like it was sitting too low. And it turns out the problem, and it's a really simple solution, you don't actually have to take this whole assembly out, is you just push this little plastic piece back in. I just used the end of a Sharpie marker and it just went pop and popped back into place. So just over time it had sort of popped out or slid out. Now, I think the long-term solution that he and other people seem to be recommending is to put a bit of glue to keep it from coming out again. I'm going to see how well this lasts, though. It's actually kind of funny. The beta VCRs I have that are the most reliable, work great, are the older ones, like my SL-5800, 5600, my SL-5200. 5200 is great because it's hi-fi, but it takes up a lot of space and it's not super beta, although this one isn't super beta either. So that's why I really like the 860, is that it kind of covered everything and it was new enough that at least in theory it's a lot simpler. However, lately I think I've used the shit out of it, and it's unhappy. So we'll eject the tape. That little struggle at the end, not sure what that's about. Maybe it just needs some more lubrication or something, but hey, you know, it's still working. I'll do a fast forward and rewind. Good, good. And then let's do play. As you can see, there's no slack.
With American Airlines Super Sale fares, now's the time to go see someone special.
Hit pause, and pause works on this, but you can hear it hunting. So it took that long to get into pause mode. Let me... So what it tries to do is hunt for the clearest picture. And I think that might be related to my other SL-2710 can't pause. If you hit pause, the capstan just continues to move instead of like pulsing and stopping, and then it just gums the tape up inside. I think it eventually stops, but it beats the tape. So this one so far is performing a lot better than that one. And the remote works on this one, which is another strike against my other 2710. Where's the remote sensor? There it is. Do fast forward scan. Oh, sensor's here. Okay. Try it there. Oh. Are my batteries dying in this remote? Huh. No, batteries test fine. That's very unhappy. Okay, so this does have some sort of a problem. Fast forward does work on the front. Actually, I think it might be a remote code thing. So here's the remote for this model, actually. It's for the other 2710. No problem at all. Whereas if I do it with this more modern one, does that. Anyway, the one issue with this one, and I'm gonna have to take this out, the pinch roller is pretty bad. You can hear that little clicking. I don't know if the camera was picking it up. Little tape creases going on in here, so that one's well worn, unfortunately. I'm gonna give it the old cleaning and maybe rubber renew, try to get it going again. Anyway, I just wanted to show this machine, and maybe if you're running into problems, if you find this one, I'll aggregate a list of good repair videos on this one, because there are a ton that have helped me out. That's kind of why I didn't film a full one. What's the point? Other people have done that. But now let's look at some of the other stuff that came with this. Let's start with this beast. This is what I saw in the ad of miscellaneous stuff that made me jump. This is the SLO-260, which was the office version, which is kind of like the commercial version of the SL. And I believe it's very similar to the SL-2710. The only difference is it has adjustable audio meters, and you can turn the limiter on and off. So this is more like what you'd see on a U-matic. But it does have the tuner, does have everything. I did take this apart and see what it did. And there's only two belts that are bad. Thankfully, all the really big flat belts that are harder to find are good. But the problem I have now is that all of a sudden the loading motor doesn't work. It doesn't get voltage. It just stopped. And I worry, I had the front circuit board out here that's got the little driving transistors for it. I worry that I might have shorted that. So this will need some repair, unfortunately. But I really want to get it working, even though it's only beta 1. It has this delightful little label here. Do not attempt to adjust this machine. Get a newer beta VCR. And the tape that was actually in this, I played back on my other machine, and yeah, it's someone recording with video cameras in beta 1. Video cameras like this guy. This is, it's got a nice little Sony logo on there. I'm assuming that's someone's address. And here it is. This looks like it would line up and match with the SL-3000, which was Sony's first portable beta VCR. It's a Trinicon, and we have a model number here. We do. This is the HVC-1000. Lovely, 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 lovely. Oh, but what if I don't have one of these little connectors on my machine? Well then, sir, you need one of these. Here is the base for the camera. Plug the camera in the front. It's unfortunately missing the Sony logo. Power and power LED. And then on the back, you have video out, mic out, and remote. So you plug this into a standard beta VCR, and you're good. And last but not least, a true antique. This is, where do they have the sticker on the back here? This is a CVC-2100A, which is, I believe, a black and white camera. And it's got RF out, but you can switch it to video. VTR out is a bespoke connector, but it does have the cable for it. And I do have, it did come with one of these UHF connector to RCA or UHF connector to F connector. I can never remember the name is PL259, I think. Anyway, this is all stuff. Oh, and look at that little DE9 connector on the top. That's kind of weird. But yeah, this will all be a future video. I need to go and find service documentation for this to figure out why it's not working. If anyone knows where I can find either the 7200 or the SLO-260 service manual or schematics, please let me know. Oh, and I do have more VCR videos planned. I've actually got some really cool ones that I've found. I just need to find the time and be in the right mood to do it. But do expect that in the future. It is coming. Just to end off this video, I'm going to show a sample playback of this tape that I was playing on the 860. I'm going to play it in this one as well and do a comparison to see, you know, maybe this one plays it better. The 860 seems to be doing a lot of weird things. Anyway, here's just a sample difference. A couple quick notes what you're about to see. There's a high-pitched sort of ringing noise in the audio. I think what I'm playing back was actually dubbed from another tape, and the playback VCR of the original tape was making that noise. Because typically you hear that noise, that's sort of like the video track, kind of the audio heads kind of encroaching a bit into the video track, but that's on the hi-fi. It's actually on both the hi-fi audio and the linear audio. And same thing with all the noise that's rolling up and down. That's not interference when this is playing. That's on the tape itself. So it's not a great recording, but you know, we'll just see the difference. Oh, and also I'll tack on, I found some cartoons at the end of this. So show that playing back. Those are actually much better quality than the first sample.
Now at Red Lobster,
Well, we've got a new special tonight. It's got everything.
it's Scampi Tails and Shrimp 3 ways. Start with deep sea Scampi Tails, incredibly sweet. Add large lightly breaded shrimp and this savory garlic shrimp. Then our famous grilled shrimp to top off a terrific dinner.
It's new.
It's Scampi Tails and Shrimp 3 ways for a limited time.
It's delicious.
And it's only at Red Lobster. Now at Red Lobster,
Well, we've got a new special tonight. It's got everything.
it's Scampi Tails and Shrimp 3 ways. Start with deep sea Scampi Tails, incredibly sweet. Add large lightly breaded shrimp and this savory garlic shrimp. Then our famous grilled shrimp to top off a terrific dinner.
It's new.
It's Scampi Tails and Shrimp 3 ways for a limited time.
It's delicious.
And it's only at Red Lobster.
An MTN Pulse News Update.
Good morning, it's 9:26. I'm Tracy Madigan. Here's the latest from the MTN Pulse newsroom.
Punky Brewster will return after these messages.
Now back to Apple Jacks.
Fun to eat and happily sweet. Kellogg's Apple Jacks.
Some
Sometimes people take for granted about the best things ever planted, but they should be enchanted, should appreciate their trees.